They say some doors should never be opened, but tonight, we open one. Welcome to the Room 13 Stories. This first one happened to me back in sophomore year. It was a Tuesday during third period, history. Mr. Henderson was droning on about the Roman Empire, and honestly, I was half asleep. Then the intercom crackled. Not the usual "this is a drill" message, just a single, sharp, almost panicked, and then the principal's voice, tight and strained. "Lockdown. This is not a drill. Lockdown procedures immediately." The classroom went from sleepy to frantic in about 2 seconds flat. Desks scraping, chairs clattering. Mr. Henderson, usually so calm, was practically shoving us under his big oak desk. We crammed in, knees to chests, trying to be as small as possible. He flipped the lights off, pulled the blinds down, and then the door clicked shut, locked from the inside. And that's when it started, the silence. Not just the absence of sound, but a presence of silence. It was heavy, suffocating. You could hear your own heartbeat thumping in your ears. Outside our classroom, the usual school hum. Distant chatter, lockers banging, the squeak of sneakers. It was all gone. Vanished. It was like the entire building had just held its breath. We were under that desk for what felt like an hour. Nobody dared to whisper. Nobody even shifted. The air got thick, stale. And then I heard it. A whisper. Not from inside our classroom. It was coming from the hallway. It was so faint at first. I thought I was imagining it. Like a dry leaf skittering across concrete. But then it got clearer. A voice. Or voices, plural. They weren't speaking words, not really. It was more like a low, guttural murmur, a sound that felt ancient and wrong, and it was moving, slowly, past our classroom door. My eyes were wide open, staring at the sliver of light under the door. I could feel the goosebumps prickling my arms. The whispers, they weren't human. They were too low, too raspy, and they seemed to be echoing, not like a normal echo, but like the walls themselves were whispering back. The sound seemed to be coming from everywhere and nowhere at once. Then, the whispers stopped right outside our door. The silence that followed was even worse than the whispers. It was a pregnant silence, filled with an unseen presence. I could feel my breath catching in my throat. My heart was hammering against my ribs. And then, a soft, almost imperceptible scratch, like fingernails dragging across the wooden door. Just once, a slow, deliberate drag. We stayed frozen. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. After what felt like an eternity, the whispers started again, moving slowly down the hall, fading into the oppressive silence. Eventually, the all clear came over the intercom. Mr. Henderson, looking pale and shaken, unlocked the door. The hallway was empty, just the usual lockers, the faded linoleum. But the air, it still felt heavy, like something had been there. Something that shouldn't have been. And for weeks after that, every time the school went silent, even for a moment, I could still hear those whispers, just at the edge of hearing. Always there, always waiting.
First week on the job. New English teacher at Northwood High. Mrs. Davies, that's me. Still learning the layout, still trying to remember which kid is which. And then, the PA crackles. Not the usual, "Good morning, students," kind of crackle. This was different, static. Then a voice, tinny and distorted, but unmistakably Principal Thompson's. "Attention all staff and students. This is a lockdown. Repeat, lockdown. Secure your classrooms immediately. Do not open your doors for any reason." My heart did a little flip-flop. Lockdown? On a Tuesday? I'd only just gotten the hang of the smartboard. My class, a bunch of giggling freshmen, went silent. I barked out instructions, trying to sound calm, trying to remember the drill. Blinds down, lights off, huddle in the corner. We were in a classroom on the ground floor, right near the main entrance. Not ideal. The silence that followed was heavy. You could hear a pin drop. Then a sound, faint at first, from the hallway. A child's voice. "Mommy? Where are you, Mommy?" My students exchanged nervous glances. One little girl, Sarah, whispered, "Is that a kid?" I shook my head, trying to reassure them, but my own stomach was doing somersaults. Probably just a student who got separated. They'll be fine. But the voice, it wasn't just a kid. It was too sweet, too innocent, and it kept repeating the same phrase over and over. "Mommy? Where are you, Mommy?" It was getting closer. Then a new sound, a soft rhythmic tapping, like fingernails on glass. Tap, 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 right outside our door. My breath hitched. I could feel the kids pressing closer to me. The voice outside, still that saccharine, childlike plea, was now right on the other side of the door. "Mommy, I'm scared. Let me in." And then, the tapping stopped, replaced by a new sound, a low, guttural growl. Not human, not animal, something else. It was deep, vibrating through the floorboards. And then, the voice, still sweet, still childlike, but now with that growl rumbling underneath it, like a broken speaker. "Oh, Mommy, let me in." My blood ran cold. This wasn't a lost student. This wasn't a drill gone wrong. This was something else entirely. And it was waiting, right outside our door. It started like any other Thursday. The bell rang at 8 a.m. I was late to homeroom again. The hallway buzzed, students laughing, lockers slamming, teachers yelling over the noise. I didn't know that by the end of the day, not everyone would make it home. At exactly 9:17 a.m., the loudspeaker crackled. A voice, calm but a little off, announced, "Attention staff and students. This is a code red lockdown drill. Please follow protocol." Everyone groaned. Another drill. Third one this month. Our teacher, Ms. Carter, locked the door, turned off the lights, and motioned for us to move to the back wall. We sat in the dark, half joking, some scrolling on their phones, but something about Ms. Carter's face unsettled me. She was pale, sweating. Her eyes darted to the door. I whispered, "It's just a drill, right?" She didn't answer. Instead, she typed something into her phone. I glanced. It said, "This doesn't feel like a drill." Then her phone buzzed again. She read the message and froze. That's when we heard it. Footsteps, heavy, slow, dragging. Someone was walking down the hallway. Not running, not yelling, just walking. Then, slam. A locker shut. Another. Then another. Each bang echoed louder than the last. Someone beside me started to cry quietly. Then, the footsteps stopped, right outside our door. Through the narrow glass, we saw a silhouette, tall, dark. Not a teacher, not a student, just standing, breathing. The doorknob jiggled. Once, twice, slow, deliberate, but it was locked. After a pause, the figure walked away, calmly, silently. No all clear, no announcement, no Wi-Fi. Then our phones lit up. Messages flooded in, all from unknown numbers. Each said the same thing. "Don't trust the intercom." Then the speaker buzzed again. But the voice was wrong. Too deep, too distorted. It said, "Students of room 2B, we know you're inside. Please unlock the door." But we were in room 2C. Why were they calling 2B? The voice repeated, "Room 2B, we see you." And then we heard screaming far down the hallway, wild, panicked, furniture crashing, something scraping. And then nothing, just silence. Miss Carter stood up on me and whispered, "We're leaving. Now." She opened a storage closet, revealing a crawl space, a maintenance tunnel. One by one, we crawled in, dark, dusty, claustrophobic. We crawled beneath the hallway, past the library, past the office. All the while, the intercom kept repeating, "Come out. We just want to talk. It's safe now. Please unlock the door." But the voices, they sounded wrong, like they were trying to mimic us, but didn't understand the words. Finally, we reached the boiler room. Miss Carter punched in a code. The emergency exit flew open. We ran, barefoot, shaking, crying. We didn't stop until we were outside the school gates. Police arrived hours later. They said there was no lockdown drill scheduled. When they checked room 2B, the door was wide open, but no students, no teacher, just one word scratched into the chalkboard: "Listen." They never found out what happened. Some say it was a prank. Some blame the school system. But me, I know what I heard. And every time the intercom buzzes, I still feel it. That same whisper, that same voice. "We see you."